Alright folks, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy VII. This is Acid Roots, and I'm going to do an encore episode once again to make up for the length of time that I was gone. So we're going to really try to barrel through some of this stuff, like I've said, and I'm just going to kind of have like a certain kind of drive. Now, I don't want to say that and then lose spirit later, but I mean, that's the thing. You know, it just depends upon what the game throws at me, but I have the will. I'll at least say that. I have the will to want to do this. The first 2 hours of this game is pretty enthralling. Like the stuff that you do in Midgar when you have to rescue Eris and do the stuff with Tifa and like the wall market and that sort of stuff. There's a lot of fun things to be had there, but I'm really hoping that there's just been too much like questing and not enough story. That's been my problem with like this game as to why I departed from it, but we're gonna get it, you know. And this little dude is a bastard. I can't believe that these little plant things have as much HP as they do. I can't understand how to hurt them. You know, I think I just used magic too much, but it was really close. I was really getting this chocobo on the skin of my teeth. I was mad. I just don't understand why I have so much HP. But it just makes me wonder if I would have attacked them, what would have happened. But But yeah, so the Curial greens will keep the chocobo at bay for 5 turns, which is about the length that you're going to be able to get. So you just have to understand that you have to beat these enemies within 5 turns. So if I had just gotten 2 of those like chicken type things, I probably would have been fine, but you know. So just trying to kind of figure out what else to do here. So I'm gonna watch the news in about an hour. Had some vegetable soup that was pretty decent. I didn't make it, but my family did. So I got some interesting vlogs done. They're gonna premiere on Frenchie's YouTube in a while, but yeah, it's just stuff like that. So basically the chocobo, if you've played the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies, what this chocobo does is it allows you to scurry through the terrain quicker and you don't encounter random battles. Now, in this game you have to catch them, but in other games they're just kind of available. I think they just wanted to have that thing. So that snake thing right there is the Midgar Zolom, and yeah, you can actually fight it if you want. Like I said last episode, it's a pretty lengthy battle, but if you feel up for the challenge, you can do it. That's what it looks like. Sephiroth pretty much annihilated that thing with relative ease, I would have to say. I don't even suppose the Midgar Zolom got like an attack in. I think it was pretty instantaneous. But I like how they did that. I mean, that was pretty cool how they showed the difference between you and your current party and the final boss of the game. You know, it's not really too much of spoilers. I think you can tell that Sephiroth is definitely going to be a major enemy in the game, but that's basically what he is, so. But, so yeah, this is a brief area. I thought this was going to be longer when I first played it, but it isn't, so. But there are random battles, so. Yeah, this is such a crisp month. That's why I like November. It's in my first half of favorite months of the year. I would say September, October, November are some of my favorite months of the year. I mean, I could list the other 3, but you get the idea. I just like autumn. Sometimes I like December, but it's pretty holiday oriented. It's really kind of like a family and, you know, cookie and, you know, just sweets and kind of joyous more time of year. But November doesn't have that quality as much. I mean, it's still kind of a leftover sheen of October and kind of has like, you know, I mean, you can watch horror movies within this month and it's just generally got cool weather and stuff. And I don't mean that, yeah, you get what I mean. So it's good. But, I mean, obviously, if you live in the southern hemisphere, it's spring right now. yeah, it's spring. So you guys are getting ready to head into summer. So it's like hell. I just wonder what that would be like. October 31st and like November 20th being springtime. It just doesn't match. And I know you guys down there probably feel the same way I do about it, but getting the cold months at the end of the year is, I don't know. So I like it. But so yeah, I made sure to get like my party members equipped because I definitely wanted Eris. I had to remove like the all technique because if you hit the chocobo when you're fighting it, it'll run away. Doesn't matter if you spent the money on the greens. So this one last piece of advice, just minutes later to remember. But yeah, so another thing I didn't realize why this fight is kind of lengthy is because these dragonfly things. You would think fire would be good against them, but they're not dragonfly insects kind of things. They're dragons, like fire-breathing dragon kind of things. So fire actually heals them. So that's what you have to know is, yeah. But I am learning some skill sets. I learned some techniques. Yeah, I can't really think of what else has been going on. It's been a relatively kind of brief kind of day. I mean, it's just, I talked about Powerade in the last episode, and I suppose I could go to Walmart or something like that, but there's just, I'm gonna watch the news. I mean, children between the ages of 5 and 11 can now get the COVID vaccine. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of going on. I'm just wondering how 2022 is going to turn out. And that's really kind of like the thing, is just me talking about 2022. Just because that's such a big mystery to me. I mean, as per usual, I mean, it's, 2022 is 60 days away, but I've seen not a glimpse from anyone as far as what's showing up in January, February, March. The only thing I really know that's happening next year is just the Super Bowl. And that's really about it. That's about the only real firm details we've gotten out of 2022, and I just don't understand why it's been so kind of bleak just in terms of like updates, I mean, even I myself have not crafted videos that are scheduled for 2022 for the most part. I mean, now that I'm in November, I probably should get to doing that, but it's just odd, It just feels it's almost like a comet's gonna strike this planet or something. I don't even know at this stage. We have no clue. It's just the stupidity of it all. I mean, it's like, come on, folks. I mean, I am going to see Morbius. That's a movie that I want to see. I might talk about it within this playthrough. I mean, I don't think I'll have this game beaten by January, but yeah. I mean, that's kind of a dumb statement, but yeah, so probably going to talk about Morbius. Let's just say it like that. I'm just slightly rambling here. But, gonna see Morbius. I saw both the Venom movies back in October, so those were fun. I actually was kind of hooked on them for a while. To talk about that briefly, it was just something about the approach of those movies that just had a real affable and just kind of charming mystique about them. I think Tom Hardy handled the job real well, and Woody Harrelson did a good job as Carnage. And they even brought Shriek. I don't know if some of you guys caught that, but if you don't know who Shriek is, it was Carnage's girlfriend from the Maximum Carnage days, which is basically where he just went on a spree of killing folks in New York. So, I mean, it was a 14 comic affair. I mean, most of the time comics end in part 1 or part 2 or something, but that lasted for 14 episodes. I used to have that huge graphic novel, but I've since lost it, but it was definitely stellar. It was cool seeing a movie adaptation of it. I mean, Carnage didn't have all of his baddies, but, there wasn't Carrion there, and there wasn't Morbius and Demogoblin. I think that's how it's either Demogoblin, Demogoblin, something like that. I used to like him. He was a worse version of the Hobgoblin. He was definitely kick-ass. But, yeah, just all those dudes. Even Doppelganger, the six-armed Spider-Man, wasn't in it, but That probably would have been too freaky. So, just been trying to think of other things. I saw a Jackal Gold Kick video where he talked about how he wasn't too hot to see the new Scream movie, but he said he was still going to wind up seeing it, and I don't know how I feel about like those type movies. I mean, it's not like I dislike them, but I do want to at least see the first couple Scream movies, because they do have like a claim to them, and I do like cult movies, and I do like, you know, movies that have like good followings. It's always fun, but it's kind of the thing there. I mean, Halloween just came out last month. I wonder if that's still in theaters. It's just, I mean, everything is just so sporadic, and that's the whole thing. It's just everything has like its particular tribe. Like, there's people who fuck with it, people who don't. If you don't fuck with the people who fuck with that sort of thing, you don't hear about it. So, but yeah, we're gonna bump into the Turks again. It's been a while. It's been like a year since I've remembered these guys. I just have no clue. I mean, they assume that you were playing this like a couple hours or a couple days ago, but you know, I'd have to go back and watch some of my playthroughs. But I know that they were at least after Eris. I get that. So, I guess I was being... Maybe if I had humored the enemies and said I don't know who they are, we would have gotten a longer dialogue. But, I don't know, I prefer the concept of not being ignorant about this thing. To put it negatively. It's a funny way of saying things. Yeah, I need to sneeze. I'm probably not going to, but then again I might, but... So... Yep, I've just been in the PS1 kind of mood. I really like the controller. The DualShock is one of my favorite gaming controllers. And I've just been in the mood to play PS1 games between this and Crash Team Racing, and then a couple games I've got scheduled after that. If I ever get around to doing Parasite Eve, I'd also like to do that game. I might just have to bust out that game and just do it. I'm just thinking this is going to take years to beat Final Fantasy VII. I mean, I've at least gotten further, but this is really only about like 30 minutes of progress. I mean, this is basically like a 50 or 60 hour game. You know, that's what you have to strap yourself in for. So if you're watching this, and if you've watched this since part 0, I applaud you. That's definitely the thing, is just being able to do that. I just feel like, I'm just trying to think of scenarios where people probably could watch this from head to toe. Basically, you've got like a vacation. If you're like a student, you're on Christmas break, it's a good thing to watch, but it's just difficult to think, you know, as to how to watch this from basically the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep and that sort of thing, and watch like 120, 130 episode LP. You know, you do the math as to how many hours that would take if these are usually a little bit less than 15 minutes. So, but keep in mind, if you're reading the dialogue here, I mean, this is the bonus dialogue that's getting ready to show up just by having Eris in the party. So, but I did like this part. This is pretty cool, this little segment here. They didn't have to do this. So, yeah, we're going to progress the storyline more in the next episode, but we are going to get something else. There's a bonus that's coming, and I have to do it. It's just like the Chocobo stuff. It's a bonus, and I'm just going to have to really convince myself. I mean, I'm going to do it. I mean, there's no way I'm not going to do it, but it is the fact that, you know, some of these things that you can or can't do is based upon, like, finesse, and it's just a certain finesse that you have to be able to do it. I mean, the last one was mandatory, but this one, I'm just going to get it taken care of. So. Alright, so stay out of our way. So, alright folks, we're about winding down. We will get to part 34 soon enough. I'm still in the mood to record more of this, so I will do more this week and that sort of thing. But, alright, subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night.